Hello subscribers, welcome to a live stream of Wizardry 8. We are playing the vanilla version on Expert Iron Man with all martial art party. And we're heading back to Arnica right now. Get some of our spell points back. Okay. Hey Zombo, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Round 2, let's go. Alright. Wizzy Trilly. Yeah, eventually I gotta get back to Wizardry 7 again, but I've been wanting to make so much progress on this party. I haven't played it for a little while.
I sense movement.
Okay, we got something else up here. No idea what it is. Let's see if we can sneak up on it and see what it is. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is the Geomancer's level. Ooh, 15. We're only level 14 and 13. If I get close to them, I can potentially kill them, but the problem is they can do crush and whipping rocks and stuff. It does a lot of damage. So I definitely need a high-powered element shield. I'm gonna try this. Also need to get back a little bit of mana here. Okay, let's do for sure armor plate. Enchanted blade. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. Okay. Oh, they've used up their mana stones too. Yeah, you can use yours. Oh, we got scammed.
Now is the time.
Okay, we're gonna make an attempt with a level 4, and then we'll do a level 5. Hopefully one of those will get through. Use a granite potion. You try to scare this elemental. You try to do insanity. The chance of it working on these geomancers is really low, so I'm gonna do it on the elemental. And then you throw a lure out here. Oh boy, here we go. Thumble says the scam drew first blood. Okay, they did element shield. I'm fine with that. Here comes the whipping arms. As long as we get our element shield. It was a double fizzle on the element shield. What a scam. Okay, what power level? I can only do 3. And you do. Try it again. You're gonna use Amulet of Healing. Let's see what your artifacts is. 56, okay. Actually, have DC attack. No, have him use it. Okay. Haste. Ego whip. Ego whip. Here we go. Double scam. We're just getting started, Zumble says. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy.
We're in conjunction on that one.
5 of our characters are useless right now. Okay, we gotta try to run. They just webbed. So no element shield for us.
But my mind remains clear.
Good news is Terror worked on the elemental.
More beasts.
Hey Jimmy, welcome in. How are you doing? This is Gnome Jimmy's once a day Earth Elemental coming back to bite us. I'm certain of it. Yes, it sure seems like it, doesn't it? Oh gosh. It's ridiculous. I told you guys that this was our weak part right now, our weak point with this party. Until we get to level 15, 16,
Right. Much better.
we just cannot handle casters like this.
Who is that?
Got Radis down here. Maybe he'll take some of the hits for us.
Oh, much better.
Okay, Webb's gone at least. Okay, they're retreating. So we didn't die. But we're also still not past them. That double element shield where we really got scammed. That's what did us in. Okay. Okay. They're right there now. See where that's at on the mini map. Yeah, there's no way we can get past them where they're at right now. I mean, if I can get Radis involved, that might be a little bit of an aid if he is kind of a fodder source for us. Plus, I wanted to get a surprise attack in on him, which I didn't get. Let's wait here. Which way's Radis going? You're going the wrong way. Okay, they went up there. They're still there. They're right on the other side of this hill, I think. Okay, there they are. Probably out of range. Yeah. And they've got a clear view of the street, so it's not like I could run up over here. It's like the worst position in the world they could be in. Alright. Let's do this. The computer's going to cheat if I sit here. It's going to know I'm here. It's going to come toward me. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? How many hit points does this guy have? 329. I have canned elementals. So, what I'm going to do is try to get a surprise attack when they're over here. And then send out a canned elemental. Get our element shields going. I just need to check on them every few minutes to see how quickly they're moving. Yep, they're still coming. I may even be able to sneak by them. If I can keep them down there. Yeah, I think I might be able to sneak by them over here. So I'm gonna try something here. Okay, they're right in that road. Out of range. So in theory, if I come back here far enough. There we go. Okay. We got around him. We won't be leaving Arnica again until we're high level. That's just too risky. Level 13 and 14 and then getting scammed by our poor element shield casting ability. That was even with magic screen on. We had magic screen power 6 from Gary in Trenton, and they're crushed at 60 damage. Whipping Rocks was doing like 20-ish damage. Imagine if we wouldn't have had magic screen. Which we won't have normally. We only got that because Gary gave it to us. Jimmy says, in fact, may I suggest a nice, relaxing sojourn at my villa in Hillspark? Yeah, we could just spend the day rummaging through trunks and people's properties. I think that's a lot less dangerous. Spend our day riding our horses over the roads and jumping over puddles. so that we don't trip. Okay, Arnica, we're staying here. We're grinding here. I mean, we can go out to Arnica Road too. I'm not worried about that place, but this road right here, no. No, 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 no. So we can complete, not really complete, but we can partially complete part of the train quest. Go talk with the Mook real quick. Hey Tawheed, welcome in. How are you doing?
Who is that?
The United Mook Alliance welcomes you to our new
You're live from your parents' diner. Cool.
and a pleasant
One.
goodbye.
It was a pleasure.
The hero returns.
You are speaking.
Okay, give... Where's the letter? Here it is.
Transferring.
Who is that?
Allow me to please your
Okay.
goodbye.
He seems to be on top of things. Farewell.
Alright, we got our fake astral
This
dominant.
behavior is awesome.
Let's go recruit Urk. It's to take his magic nectar.
We have company.
You're taking a break from cleaning and help prep with food? Cool. Cool. Recruit.
You will become. We have an agreement between.
He actually could become a monk. He's only level 9 though, he's so far behind.
My deepest appreciation for your time. Goodbye.
Okay. Time to do some recharging on our mana stones. Make a little money and then do some fights.
I wish I.
Let's see here. Let's go ahead and buy some stuff here. Does he have any cure light condition? No. He's got 10 moderate heals. Where's the light heals? Okay, so we can make quite a few renewal potions. Start with 5. Cure disease, where are you? I'll do this one at a time.
Great. Great.
Okay, now we have enough to buy a few more cure disease.
Great!
Perfect. Chewbacca will be a much better character if he knows Kung Fu. Tawhid says. Hey, Mr. Spock, welcome in. How are you doing?
Satete, run!
Alright, now we have 5 heavy heals left.
Great!
Sulla malla lassù!
27,000 gold. Okay. Now we can sell all of our mana stones, get those recharged. Mana, mana, mana. Okay, and then we'll buy them back. Nice. Okay, you have magic nectar. Light eels. Those over here. What are you carrying light eels for? Okay, it's all sorted. Miss Speck says, I just got done watching your Bardstill stream not too long ago. Getting spoiled with streams, lol. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. That can be a little slower when I'm waiting for something to join the party. Thanks for giving Tawhid the shout out, Jimmy. Yeah, he changed his alias to Lazy Gamerindo. Hey Shin, welcome in. How are you doing? Kindred Spirit. Or he's on the run from the long legs of the law, Jimmy said. Mr. Spock asked Shin if he's still Persona-ing. Almost done with Persona, he said. Okay. Smelling salts. That works.
I hope. Farewell.
It's time to fight now. Earlier, if you're just joining, we ran into a very
It'll be over in no time.
very scary fight that we had to try to avoid because we were about ready to get killed. We escaped, and then we're not doing that again. Okay, here we go. And thanks for giving Shin the shout out as well. Missed your favorite type of fight and your least and my least favorite? Yeah, exactly. Guys are faster than us. Are you serious? We're only level 9.
Much better.
Alright, let's get some berserkers generating here. Shin says, I did the math and I can overkill the boss, but I don't feel like going through the game right now. Yeah, that's when you know you're not enjoying the game. This box says, I only own Kingmaker, but still haven't played it. You're playing as a Cavalier? Shin says the fusion mechanics and combat mechanics are great but wasted on the game. You can ignore them and do well even on hard. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, there's something out here. Yes, berserkers. That's what we want. They're probably going to be with gunners, so we'll have to pull them, but... yeah. I've had the best luck doing it right here. Because the game cheats, and we'll come around the corner here. And then we'll be close. This box says, bummer, probably still better than Megman 2. All the rest, LOL. Is that Megman or Mega Man? Yeah, having to fight all the bosses over Mega Man is just painful. And then when you have to continue, you got to do it even more. Okay. Let's pull these over here. Yep, they're coming. They're cheating. Just speed this up and hit them with acid bomb. How about that?
All
right, friends. This will take time.
Perfect. Then we'll get into position. Let's try a few high-powered haste because they're probably going to fail. So you might as well try a few. And then you can try element shield. High-powered. Okay, here we go. Shin says Mega Man is fun, but the first game has evil platforming and physics. Your brain won't even let you spell it right, Mr. Spucks. That's funny.
I sense a creature.
Your brain's trying to shield you from it, Mr. Spock. It's like a protective mechanism. Okay, what are you trying? Haste. We already got element shield, so you can attack now. Okay, this is a good position. Finally. It's only haste power 2, but still better than nothing. In fact, let's see if it improved anybody. Yeah, it gave 3 swings on DC and on D Forte. So it gave 2 couple extra, well, it's 2 extra swings because you got an offhand attack per round. It'll just last 2 rounds though. This box says Mega Man is the first time I got stressed out watching you play a game series, lol. Oh, yeah, it was, I like Mega Man 1, but all the rest, it just,
Natural.
56,000 experience.
Run.
That's why we want to fight berserkers. Yeah, the ninjas only need about 28,000, it looks like. Nice. And then everybody will be level 14. Oh, Shin's changing his alias again. This box says, LOL, another name change. Don't forget to remind us. Toad says, yes, sir, been thinking of doing it a long while, but finally got the guts to do it. Oh, that was his reply to Jimmy's comment about 5-10 minutes ago. Changing his alias to Lazy Gamer Eno. You guys would flip out if I changed mine. Change it to something completely unrecognizable. Like DOS Dude. You'd be like, who the heck is this? I'm never gonna do that, by the way. Troopers, okay. Only troopers. Okay, we can fight these out in the open then.
Task.
Okay, here we go. Hills Far Lover 9000, Mr. Specs. Yeah, that's good. Hey, Telspire, welcome in. How are you doing? Doing okay, Telspire. How are you?
Are you mad?
You're trying to be sneaky, but you know what? You're going to get crushed, literally, by the crush spell. This guy, how many hit points does he have? No, we're going to crush him instead. So that we can re-aim all these. Now you died. You're really well. Glad to hear that, Telspire. You went off the deep end in development mode for 6 weeks, and it's starting to pay off. Nice.
I sense movement.
Need to force myself to come up for air, which is what I'm doing now. Yeah, good health idea. Very good. Part 20 means the runs lasted 20 streams so far? Yes.
I see something
We haven't died. The party hasn't been wiped. This will be a level up for our 2 ninjas. Sure, they're still coming. Yep, they are. Okay, they're almost here. And we can even get a sneak attack. Let's see. Miss Box says this has been a very satisfying run, albeit with a couple close calls. Yeah. Well, that makes it more fun, right? More entertaining. Because if you knew I was going to win 100%, there'd be no point in watching. We'll try a couple hastes here. Might as well while we wait. For you, I don't think there's anything. We'll just do Soul Shield to get some training. Okay, perfect. This box says true, but I still understand the heartbreak after the work. Yeah, for me, there's no heartbreak. There's only heartbreak if you don't learn. I am 100% fine with putting a bunch of time into something and it failing, as long as I really learned. That's what makes you, in my opinion, that's what makes you learn a lot more solidly. When you have a strong emotion tied to something and something happens, your brain just like records it very solidly so that that doesn't happen again to you. If you don't have some kind of strong emotion tied, then the chance of your brain recording it is way down. At least for most people. For me, any kind of emotion tied to something, it doesn't have to be a bad emotion, it can be a really good emotion too, but it just makes the recording super strong. Hellspire says, au contraire, Deforte, I love watching record speed runs, and I know they win. Yeah, that's a different situation. You're witnessing just their tiny improvements, you know, which is a similar concept. Yeah, when you don't know what's coming next is way more fun. Hellspire says, my issue with losing challenge runs is awareness of the time commitment for restarting, LOL. Yeah, it's definitely huge. Okay, so depending on the game type, if you want to become a better and better expert, you have to invest tons of time. It's not possible not to. And those failures actually make you improve drastically better than if you're just getting micro improvements every time. You know, like if you're winning, but you're just getting these little micro improvements, you will not learn nearly as much as when you fail. This is my opinion. When you fail and then you have to do it all over again.
Experience.
But it depends on the type of game, too. Speed. And then we'll start probably working on vitality. Yeah, we're saving your spell. Tuspire says, yeah, almost all the best performers have intrinsically muted emotions or habits to mute them, though a small proportion are anime protagonists who are ultra passionate and can channel. Yeah, see, speedruns are different. It's nothing like an RPG like this that's very complicated. You can't learn much at all with doing speedruns in action type games. All you're doing is improving and solidifying your subconscious response to things. You're not really learning. Something like this that has so many factors, you have to learn. There's millions of combinations of things statistically, and you learn that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just training your subconscious and reflexes and all that is totally different than learning a complex system where you have to use reasoning ability. You got to use reasoning ability and logic and things in this. So yeah, just completely different situation. Okay, and you're going to keep your spell. Let's see, martial arts, throwing. Could up a couple points here. when they're not actively playing, they're probably coming up with improvements on the back burner. But yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, the difference in cognition that you need to do what they're doing compared to a game like this is completely different for survivability and stuff. It's totally apples and oranges. Drones. We can do some drones. Should be high enough level now where we can kill these real quick.
This will be over in no time.
Acid bomb. The other thing that like doing Iron Man runs does is that's a universal trait that carries across all games, because it teaches you resourcefulness, planning, patience. That will span any kind of game. So that's why I love doing Iron Man runs. It can make you be able to get really good at any game pretty quickly, any complex game. Whereas if you just save scum, you're never really going to get that much better, honestly. It's just the truth. Mr. Spock says, wisdom from the game masters with D4. Telspire says, and having done both speedruns and hardcore runs, I can appreciate the difference. Is this another multi-game marathon run? No, I'm still doing the Wizardry 6 through 8, but I'm in Wizardry 7 with that party. This I just wanted to do a very difficult challenge run. So this is on its own. This Spock says only those who lose will truly win. Very philosophical. I like it.
The negative energy is gone.
I don't think it lets you post links, Telspire. You can try, but I think it's gonna blot it out. I don't know if you're on my Discord. You could always go post it over there if you are. I actually have a programming section on Discord. Yeah, or like Mr. Spock says, just type out what to search on. Drones again. Well, at least we can kill these quickly now. Oh, and Berserkers. Right at the last minute. Wizardry 8 says, hey, you know what? He's going to destroy these drones. Let's throw in some Berserkers at the same time. I'll have to redo this fight because they're not going to... If they come up here, they're going to end up running away again. Going to hiatus right here. RNG is like, keep the change, Zombo says. It is Wizardry after all, Telspire says. Yeah. Especially Wizardry 8. See, the other Wizardries, all the monsters they're just there. You don't get to see them coming, period. In this, the game lies to you, which makes it worse because it'll say, oh, there's some savant drones. And then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, by the way, it's going to pull in the berserkers. Even though the berserkers can't see what's going on. Okay, what we'll do here is pop around the corner and at least kill these right away. I think we'll do whipping rocks. No, that's pretty weak. Let's do acid bomb. You can ego whip. You can do whipping rocks because you're much better at it. Ego whip, ego whip. That's gonna kill some of these. We'll place this here just in case there's something around the corner.
No problem.
Perfect. Alright, let's try our haste. Do a double haste. I don't think you can do anything right now. We already got an acid bomb. Let's try 2 power 5 element shields. Okay. Now he says berserkers. I wonder what makes them go berserk. They're probably like haywire type robots because they get all kinds of attacks. It's like they're it's almost like they're troopers that are just nuts. Zombo says it's like in Wizardry 7 when the shopkeepers say intruder alert, sound the alarm, and more monsters just pull out of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we did get haste. Oh! We got haste and then he slowed us down, but it didn't actually remove it. We still have haste 5. That's a bug. Okay, let's check bows. Slow. Yeah, it still says 5 rounds of haste. I've never seen that happen before. These guys are stuck. They don't know how to get to us, I don't think. Oh, he finally did. Okay, good. There we go. This would be a good amount of experience. Probably like about 70,000. Oh, there's still one berserker left. Nice. Berserker is not known for their intelligence, Mr. Spock said. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have serious damage output now. We just have to get another probably 3 levels, and then our magic resistance problem will also be not such a problem. 68,000. Nice. How much do we need on the monks? About 300,000. The Wizardry 8 equivalent of stormtroopers. Yeah. Telspire says intelligent berserkers probably became lawyers or politicians. Zomble says whenever I see Berserker, it reminds me of the movie Clerks. I saw that movie so long ago, I don't remember it. Olaf the metalhead. The Russian cousin who sings the metal song really badly. Oh, okay. That's funny. I think of the arcade game when I hear Berserk. As a kid, that was my first introduction to the word Berserk. That game was way ahead of its time.
They were ready for battle.
Do you guys ever play that? It's called Berserk. You're basically fighting robots that shoot lasers and stuff. And it has a voice, like robotic voice. That's what made it way ahead of its time. And it was very early arcade game. Yeah, the arcade game. Where you have to wander through like little maze type rooms. You think you saw it at a pizzeria arcade once? Yeah, that would make sense. That's pretty much where you'd find them.
Fortune was with us.
Wow, much better.
I think I'm gonna go do some training on my alchemist earth magic. I want it to be higher. We're gonna go down into the vault. I'm not impressed with their
I see a creature, friends.
element shield ability. Okay, let's turn off voices and sound effects. We'll leave music on. You don't remember playing it? It was a pretty early arcade game. It was really hard. You guys remember the arcade game called Kangaroo? Yeah, 1980 with a cool robot voice. Yeah, very cool game for the time. I remember seeing that as a little kid and I was like, holy, what is this? There's only been a few games in my time where when I saw them, I was like completely baffled. That was one of them. Dragon's Lair was another one. Turbo, the 3D car one. There was a jet one. I think it's called Afterburner, maybe? Where you'd fly and bomb a bridge and stuff, and they like... I feel like it had some real footage like mixed in. Yeah, but anyway, there's only been like a handful when I saw them. I was like, oh my gosh. You loved Afterburner, Telspire? You've never seen Kangaroo, but the sprite is on point. Oh, Lazy Gamerindo says, first time I heard the word alchemy and alchemist was from the anime show Full Metal Alchemist. Great show about two brothers learning about equivalent exchanges. Zombel says Mega Man X. I might have missed if you said something before that, Zombel. Zombel says Afterburner's great. Miss Spock liked it too. And then on the PC, you know, with DOS, I remember King's Quest, the first King's Quest when I got that. It was like one of my first games. It was the same experience, like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is just incredible. I'm like, you can, like, it knows where you are on the screen, context sensitive speech. So when you say something, you know, you got to be right there. That was like a revolutionary for the time. Because it was a pixel context sensitive graphics related to the text engine. Zombel says, what's the most modern game that made you go, oh my gosh? I don't know if I've had an experience like that, Zombel, for a really long time. I'm going to try to figure out one. And the hard thing about answering that is, do you mean like most recent that I've personally played regardless of the year? Or do you mean the year of the game itself has to be modern? I haven't played any of the Half-Lives. Miss Spock says, I was pretty blown away by Grand Theft Auto 5. Zombel says, for me, it's that and Morrowind Skyrim out of all the new modern games. Miss Spock says, just by eye candy. Zombel says, I mean a recent generation game with DirectX higher than 7. The answer is going to be nothing then. That kind of stuff does not impress me at all. Just like if you see a superhero movie where it's doing all fancy graphics, it's not impressive at all to me. Because I know how it works. That's the problem. When you're a developer and you know how to do all that stuff and you can do it all, then It doesn't have any magic behind it. But see, when I was a kid and I saw that stuff, I had no idea how it worked. So it was like you weren't behind the veil, you know. It just seemed like it was magic. And when you become a developer, all that stuff just becomes very boring. It's kind of a catch-22 shame, you know. Like I understand exactly how it works and can do it, but it's just not interesting. Samuel says Grand Theft Auto 3 was amazing. The rest seemed like evolutionary steps. Yeah, see, there wasn't anything revolutionary in any of those games, in my opinion. There's been games before that that did the same stuff like a long time ago. It's just they've improved graphics, basically. Mr. Spock says the gold box remasters, of course, blown away. I don't know about that, but hopefully it's fun. I've said it many times. I don't need good graphics if it's a complex game. Like when I'm playing chess, I don't care about the graphics. It's the fact that chess is so hard and you're playing against something very hard. That's the fun. So like I'm all cerebral. I don't care about graphics. Now if it's something where I want it to almost like watching a movie, then sure, having that's nice because it gives ambiance. But most games don't really need that. That's why Gold Box to me is super fun because it's more about the statistics, the decision making, the reasoning, the logic you apply, knowing things, knowing rules. Yeah, when you learn to program, the magic is gone for sure. Hey Tim, welcome in. How are you doing? It almost says, ironically, I think graphics in movies are terrible. I miss the 90s movies like Terminator 2, where everything happened on screen is real. That's funny. Talid says, I guess that's why Balataro is so popular even among non-gamers because it's basically a new way to play with playing cards. You're doing great. Glad to hear that, Tim. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. Telspire says Grand Theft Auto 5 was able to handle persistent multiplayer with extremely sophisticated physics in a large and complex world, probably better than any game I've ever seen before. Of course, I have no interest in aesthetic or themes, so I couldn't get into it, but I thought it was really well done. Yeah, everybody's different with what they like to play, which is great, you know? Everybody, it'd be boring if everybody liked the exact same stuff. That would be very boring. Terminator 2 used a lot of early gen computer graphics tech though, I think. Oh yeah, for sure. You had to. Liquid metal and stuff. Yeah, I prefer old-fashioned special effects with zero computer graphics. Old 70s horror movies, for example. You had to make the special effects for real. Those are far superior, in my opinion. CGI just can't come close. Telspire says, what do you foresee being the biggest hurdles in the rest of this run? It's a good question. The biggest hurdle is going to be if we run into spellcasters that are much higher level than us. So like even if we're high level, let's say level 20, if we run into something that's like level 27 that has really strong spells, we could be wiped very quickly. There's also an enemy toward the end of this game called the Soul Eater, who's going to be really hard unless I get these guys like in the 30s for level, because he'll turncoat us and we'll be attacking each other. It's a really bad boss for this type of party. So those are the two biggest things. Still visual effects on top of an actual actor. Oh, you're talking about Terminator 2, not some dummy in the back in black spandex and white dots. Yeah. Definitely looks more real, for sure. This Spock says, what I hope to see in the AI space is text adventures that just become very immersive and let you operate outside the box and retain memory. Yeah, that's definitely doable. The thing is, though, you guys have to tell me your opinion, what you think about it. But for me, I'm a very big stickler for things being real and not fake. Not with everything, you know, it doesn't have to be that way with everything, but like superhero stuff where they're breaking the laws of physics, but it's not magic, that drives me nuts. Magic I'm fine with. So like it's the same concept with stories. If I know a computer is writing a story, kind of ruins it for me, because I know a person did not handcraft that. It's not to say, you know, if it's something simple and challenging and fun, I'm fine with that. But a story in my mind is something different. You're experiencing the thought of that person and you're almost trying to step into their shoes and their mind. With AI, it's just a bunch of people that just collaborate. You think of AI as collaboration. It's millions of collaborated ideas just thrown together. And to me, it just feels like it loses something. I don't know if I'm explaining, if you can understand what I'm saying, but it's like supporting a big game company versus supporting an independent game developer. You know, where the independent game developer did it all themselves and you can appreciate their work, their art, and all that. AI is like a giant game company. It's just pulled in millions of collaborative things and just throws it together. And it just doesn't have the spark. It doesn't have that universal vision. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Than when you have like a single designer of something. Zombo says, DeForte, what do you think of Gremlins types effects? I like that better than computer graphics for sure. I know it doesn't look as real, but to me, I like that better. I think, again, it has something to do with I can appreciate the manual art that the people did, the handcrafting they did to make that. And it's probably just because computers make everything so much easier. I lose the appreciation. Spellcaster equals paralyze and die. Mr. Spock says, I might have missed something before that. Just kind of came out of nowhere. Hey, Cortex, welcome in. How are you doing? Shin says, I do like the AI generated fantasy memes. They're getting better. And Cortex says, don't we want a simulated world populated by agents? Isn't that what games at their current tech level are supposed to simulate? I mean, everybody might want something different. I'm telling you what I like. I don't want that. I appreciate people's creativity, that they put all the time and effort into doing it, you know, especially if it's someone that does it by themselves. That is just way beyond a computer doing something. I'm not saying they can't be fun. They can. I'm talking mainly about stories and consistency with the story and appreciation for someone's abilities. Zomble says, to me, it's about the final product, not the politics dynamics behind it. But even still, independent or old games have the human touch, which most soulless AAA games don't have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what AI is kind of like to me. It can be very creative, but it's soulless. It doesn't have a consistent, what's the word? Vision. It has no vision. Where people can have vision. Tawid says, got my third Spider-Man trailer ad for this stream, so Twitch better pay you good, lol. Thank you, thank you. Samuel doesn't mind his AI game hallucinating if it's entertaining in the end. He says RNG and Wizardry 8 is hallucinating nonstop. Yeah, unpredictability is fun in games. Don't get me wrong. But it also ruins immersion. See, you can't have really good immersion, in my opinion, without having someone that's an amazing designer. And that's why I love D.W. Bradley's games. AI is not going to be able to do that. I'm just saying it. It's not going to be able to do that. To compare what it makes to someone like a master designer, it's never going to happen. Not with LLMs. Now, if they come up with a different way to do it, that's a different story. LLMs is never going to have a consistent designer type feel. It's always going to be soulless. And you're always going to be able to tell with just a few simple things. It's like, oh, yep, that's LLM. That's just its nature. It doesn't have reasoning ability. It's just it's a pattern recognition, basically. Hey, Draconic Dude, welcome in. How are you doing? Mr. Spock, need AI. Shut up and do your job, computer slaves. Me in 2030. This AI prison sure looks nice. Yeah. Better watch out what you're saying. Zomble says, I think the AIs and LLMs will do a great job doing technical things. Yeah, for sure. Any pattern recognition thing they're going to do fantastic with. Better than people. There's no doubt about that. That's their strength. Yeah, you have to really understand how LLMs work to know what they're capable of. And they're extremely limited with reasoning ability, and they don't have like overriding type I don't know what word to use here. Checks. Like with a human, that's why you can get an LLM so confused about the dumbest things. Since it doesn't have reasoning ability, once it goes into a path that it wasn't, that the data wasn't training it for, it goes completely haywire, just like Hal in the movie 2010. They cannot fix that. That's just how LLMs work. Now, like I said, if they do something different, which they can, and you could have a type of AI that incorporates LLM with something else, that's what you need to do. But you cannot just rely on LLM. They're never going to get to the point where people think they will. You're fairly tired today, but doing good, Draconic Dude? Awesome. Had potato wedges cooking. Nice. Samble says the weird thing about LMs is with scale they get significantly smarter. Not really. All that they're doing, Zomble, is doing better with pattern recognition. They're not getting smarter. It depends on your definition of smart. You could still trick and confuse them super, super easily. Dinner was fish and chip wedges and already ate the fish though. Nice. Hey, Bo, welcome in. How are you doing? LLM, training LLMs. Cortex says, are LLMs nothing more than just a case of facilitated communication fraud? Where the user is defrauding themselves? Yeah, LLMs pretty much... they're not there to tell you... A lot of the LLMs are not there to give you an accurate answer. They're there for engagement. They are there to pull you in as a user and to keep you engaged. That's why they apologize so much. And you have to correct them over and over, and they're so eager to say, oh, yeah, you're right. That was a genius idea. That's how they've been designed. And that, I mean, that's their whole goal. It's not to give you accurate information. They can be completely wrong, and you try to correct them. They can't correct them because they have to, it's only temporary. You have to go through a giant training process to have it incorporated inward. So they're fantastic for pattern recognition type stuff, like searching through DNA, finding new patterns, detecting bugs, playing chess. If you have a very limited set of rules, they can do fantastic as long as it's just pattern recognition. But as soon as you get into stuff that's where it has limited training, it's not like a person. Zero reasonability. It's going to look so stupid. Whereas an average person with reasoning ability, something they don't know about, they'll be able to correlate very quickly and to not go down some dumb rabbit hole. And that's what an LLM will never be able to do. Miss Spock says if you can sufficiently fool enough people, then how is that not that important? Wait. Then how is not that important? Sorry, Miss Spock, I don't understand that comment. Yeah, Bo, you're right. He says LLM is the king of confirmation bias. It really is. Because I think I don't like making predictions because you can't predict the future, but I think a possibility of what's happening is they wanting to keep you engaged is for advertising purposes. Because the more the information they get out of you, you're feeding it stuff that then they're learning data about you, that then they can sell stuff to you. That's the ultimate goal, I think. I don't know that for sure, but why else would you put user interaction over the actual facts? That makes no sense. Hey, Severed, welcome in. How are you doing? Cortex says if LLMs were intelligent, prompting would not matter. The fact that prompting makes it facilitate communication where the knowledge is actually coming from the user. Yeah, that's somewhat true. It's much more complicated than that, but yeah, I understand what you're saying conceptually. Yeah, and it depends on what you consider smart. With any type of pattern recognition, they will beat a human. A human cannot compete. They cannot compete with pattern recognition. Anything besides pattern recognition, if you have a smart person, or even an average person, if the LLM has limited data, the smart person, normal person will just blow them away, and the LLM's going to look like a complete idiot and just make thousands of mistakes. Because it doesn't understand anything. It truly doesn't understand. It doesn't even know what it says is wrong. And if you tell it what it says is wrong, it still doesn't know that it's wrong because it doesn't understand. It just adjusts its weights and sources for that short term. Bo says, you overestimate me. I'm the king of stupid rebels. Miss Fox says, if you can sufficiently fool enough people, how you accomplish fooling them is not that important, at least to the people profiting from the fooling. Yeah, absolutely. Donald says, I don't think AI is intelligent or sentient. Maybe logical is a better word. Yeah, any type of computer program is logic, you know, but it's been programmed to be logical. The AIs, you can say they're somewhat logical, but if you're saying like logical compared to a person with reasoning ability, no, not at all. You're gonna set up your PlayStation 4 and stream? Tawheed, alright. Well, have fun. Bo says humans are the kings of information synthesis and extrapolation, whereas computers are designed to deal with patterns and calculations faster than us. Yes, absolutely. The other problem with LLMs is they're feeding it garbage data. Like a human has reasoning abilities, so they can, over time, they will figure out that, no, that's garbage. This source is garbage. This is not working. Computer can't do that. Whatever you feed into it, it's gonna accept it into its training model. So like I keep going back to the movie 2010 with the HAL 9000. That's the way you want to train an LLM, is you have a professor that's an expert in a given field be the exclusive trainer for that particular field. And they have to be at the top of their level, which how do you determine that? I don't know. But if you do that for all the different disciplines that are possible, you're going to get an LLM that is a heck of a lot smarter with pattern recognition and stuff than what we have. It'd take a long time, though. That's the thing. The LLMs were spun up real quick. And they could only do that by just dumping garbage tons of information into it. But yeah, again, if it's a limited rule system like chess, a person can't beat those systems anymore because there's only so much variability. LLMs taking anything, it's up to the human pre-check. Yeah. Postfire says that's what I do with my LLMs is force feed them distilled knowledge of outlier experts in relevant topics. Yeah, that's a much better way to do it, for sure. Miss Spock says, it still amazes me I can build stuff that compiles. I know it's pulling off existing information, but I ask to do some pretty crazy things. LOL. But it works eventually and makes me happy. Yeah, especially if you can guide it. If you know what it's doing wrong and you can guide it, it doesn't take much guidance. Programming languages are a very limited set. The number of instructions and the concepts in programming is very small. It's not huge. So it's kind of like chess. A computer can do a really good job with that. Now, if you get into computer architecture related stuff, that's where concepts and big picture things and reasoning ability starts to come in. That it's not going to do a good job with that. Unless it's trained by really, really good computer architects, then it'll start doing a pretty good job. Yeah, any kind of limited rules system, it's going to do a great job with. Hey, Base Jack, welcome in. How are you doing? It says, but that only locks in our current understanding, which will hopefully evolve over time. Maybe I missed something. Bo says, in short, train LLM on gold box rules based on Deporte video and software. Oh, that's silly. Hey, Antlers, welcome in. How are you doing? I'm just doing training on my spellcasters, so we start talking about AI stuff. Just general chats while I'm doing this tediousness. Let's see where we're at. 91 Earth for Bo and 59 on Jimmy. Yeah, we're doing pretty good with that. Training your spellcaster LLM. Yeah, you know what'd be really funny is having some AI system right now use thousands and thousands of computers and try to do an expert Iron Man run through Wizardry 8 until success and see how long it takes it. It would take it years and years. Oh, it's so many failures. I don't know if it could even do it, honestly. Mr. Spock says some guy is going to try to get their PhD just doing that. There are way too many variables compared to something like chess. It would never be able to find patterns. Hellspire says Blizzard spent some absurd millions on training a StarCraft 2 bot with LLMs. It got insanely good, but not as good as the top humans. Well, not just LLMs, it was a custom ML architecture with like LLM precursors as part of it. Yeah, the problem with the LLMs is they can't think for themselves. They don't have reasoning ability. So they can't, when something unusual happens, they can't handle it because they don't have the statistics for it. Now, if you manually, here's the deal, you can actually write a custom AI with your own intelligence better than what an LLM is going to be. If you're a pro and you know all the different things, you can give a guideline of, in this situation, you should probably do this and prioritize it all. That's what you need. And that type of AI could do extremely well. But it would take a really long time because there'd be so many conditions and cases. But that's to me, that's more like true artificial intelligence than a large language model. Because it's emulating real human intelligence. Especially a pro. '82 alchemy, nice. This was before the big transform models we have now, Telspire says. Miss Speck says, and if you design the game world to be AI friendly, that would also help. Oh yeah. Yeah, the ultimate test would be it has to process the images just like a human. No behind the scenes metadata getting any of that information. Doesn't get a cheat. It has to process what's being displayed on a screen, parse that, and then from that figure out what it's got to do. Never gonna happen with an LLM. It's got to be given backdoor access to information that humans don't have. Though says people still underestimate the human brain and how fast it can calculate a huge number of stimuli and integrate them into action. Yeah, it's just totally different types. The LLMs are doing exactly what they're fantastic at, which is pattern recognition. And they can do calculations and everything super fast. Humans are the opposite of that. They can process inputs, you know, whether hearing, visual, whatever it is, and then instantly draw a conclusion that's very reasonable. And that takes into account like ridiculous number of cases. Even if you have low information. It's pretty amazing. It's actually mind-boggling. Think about how many computers you have to have for the LLMs to achieve what they do. Fast, you know? Compared to the human brain, this little bitty thing here, and the ability to learn and all the intelligence dimensions we have that computers don't. There's nothing more impressive besides maybe how DNA works. It's just unbelievable. Miss Fox says, and all by operating about 33 megahertz after coffee. Buzz says, we spend our whole lives training our brains to react when something new happens based on synthesized previous things we've learned. Yeah. Antler says instantly AI can translate to every single spoken language instantaneously from a single brain. Thinking in a, I don't even know what word that is, understood language. And Telspire says, well, humans are a product of billions of years. People don't want dinner for Schmucks 3. I don't understand that, Antlers, your point. Okay, I think we're in good shape for training now. Feel much better about casting our element shields. Let's go do a few fights. We can turn our sound back on. Alright, surely there's some enemies now with all that resting, right? Let's go check the airport. Dinner for Schmucks was a movie where one person was fooled by all dinner attendees. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing. It's vacant. Maybe we waited so long resting with our training that everybody died.
Spotted a wild one.
Oh, rogues? That's weird. That movie had Steve Carell in it, but it was based on an even better movie in French. The fool looked really foolish.
Sense movement.
Okay, brigands. We can do this. Sneak attack time. Let's do an acid bomb.
A simple task.
How do we want to kill these guys? Let's get more weapon training.
I've sighted a creature.
You thought that the movie was cruel like Seinfeld? Maybe the subject touched a nerve. Sorry, my bad. No, I just don't understand what you're talking about. Your comments are very strange to me, Antlers. I don't necessarily understand what you mean sometimes. So no, I don't take anything bad from it. I just wasn't sure what your point was.
No applause.
We're getting good stealth training with this. 3 swings from Zomble.
This is
And yeah,
bad.
we're still missing. More junk to sell. Miss Beck says, yeah, I think it's just that D Forte hasn't seen the movie, so it's not really clicking. As you were mentioning AI and its simplicity and the understanding things, people in groups seem to congregate around car accidents and such. I'm glad the potential for AI is there, but it's been there for a while and not really as ambiguous or positive in all cases as we hope it'd be. Okay, yeah. True. That's true. Yeah, I didn't know the movie reference or what you meant by it. Let's see, how much experience do we need? 240,000, roughly? It's not too bad, especially if we get some berserkers. You've been told you're not clear enough? No need to apologize. Some people just communicate differently, and it's really hard with texting. I misinterpret what people say all the time with text because you don't get inflection, you don't see the person's perspective, you don't see body language, and especially if someone mentions something that was said like a few minutes ago, so the context is kind of gone, or I haven't seen like the quote they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. So it happens often. This will be about 50,000 if there's 3 berserkers here.
Stay with me. This could get messy.
Miss Spock says, I still remember the person that came into the Discord and declared AI was the devil to us all before leaving, lol. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She, if it's who I'm thinking of, she came there to download my Bard's Tale mod. Is that the one you're talking about? The end is nigh, Bo says. It's like the movie The Birds, where the guy goes, it's the end of the world, when they're in the cafe. Yeah, you think we start having a discussion on AI and they were not having it. Yeah, that's the person, I think. So she was super excited about playing the Bard's Tale mods and everything, and
No longer trouble us.
I don't even know how that subject came up or who did. But she was really like not wanting to even have the conversation. Some people I personally don't understand it, but some people don't seem to be able to handle any opposition to their views. Like they would rather break off the conversation, than to actually truly discuss and have back and forth. I don't know if it's because they're mentally like fragile, they can't handle it, or if they have convictions. I don't know what it is. But I don't take any offense when someone does something like that. You know, I kind of feel sorry for them. I would hate to be that way where I felt like I just can't handle mentally what someone else says, or I can't accept their viewpoint, you know. Tried to apologize, like to not offend them. Yeah, I don't remember all the details on that.
We win naturally.
Base Jack says, thanks for listening and engaging with chat so substantially. Oh, yeah, I love it.
I foresee an easy victory.
Base Jack. I love hearing people's perspectives, even if it's completely different than mine. Okay, that was fairly easy. If I could add up all the times in life where I've thought something, and then I find out I've been wrong about it, and I got $1 each time, I would for sure be a millionaire. That's the way I look at it. So the more I hear other people's stuff, even though I'm confident in what I'm saying, I could be dead wrong, you know? You're never gonna learn if you don't listen to other people's perspectives. Plus, you just become insufferable and irritate everybody as a know-it-all, which is a terrible trait. Let's kill these with some spells. They should come around the corner here. Nurse Spock says, the older I get, the more stupid I realize I am, so I just have to keep trying even harder. You're doing good? Glad to hear that, Base Jack. That's good news. Handler says, reminds me of Weird Al's song, Everything You Know Is Wrong. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Oh man, he was such a good artist. Holy moly. Let's see, you can do, how about a firebomb? We haven't trained your fire in a while. Psionics, water magic, and psionics. Nice. Bo says, the thing I learned most when I was doing my master's and PhD and teaching in university, most of the things you say and do are wrong. You just get less wrong as you learn them more. That's a very good assessment, Bo. The other thing that, you know, I teach not at a PhD level or any of that, but I've taught at some community colleges and stuff. The other things about teaching, you tell me if you feel this way, Bo, but you don't really understand it unless you can teach it in kind of a simple way, or at least in a very logical way, a consistent way. That's how you know you understand it. But if you try to explain it to someone and you can't really do it, I'm not saying if they are missing the whole background, that's a different story. But if they have the background and then you're trying to tell them something, you don't really understand it then. If you can't explain it well.
It's good.
Let's see here. Get rid of this. I'm not going to use these. Got 7 light heals. Let's see if there's any moderates. Make a little bit of money here.
Great!
Lights.
Great! Great!
Symbionts, welcome in. How are you doing? Thanks so much for resubscribing at Tier 1 for 22 months. I really appreciate that. Symbionts is one of my longest time followers. I don't see him here on Twitch very much, but he supports me elsewhere too in crazy amounts. So thank you so much. How have you been? What have you been up to? Bo says, I agree. The ability to take complex topics and filter them down to digestible chunks is the sign of understanding. I've noticed that early learners can reiterate complex terms or ideas, but struggle to do an elevator pitch that brings it all together. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I really appreciate Symbionts. Thank you very much. Oh, those are moderate? Hang on. Okay, those are moderate.
Great!
Let's ID these. You've been good? Various projects and games. Just swinging in to say hi. Nice!
Run!
Well, I hope the projects and games are going well for you. Is it... You probably don't have time to talk or tell us what it's about. If you do, I'd love to hear it. But if not, I really appreciate you dropping in and saying hi. Bo says, I find people like Neil deGrasse Tyson able to disseminate complex ideas to the average person. Shows he really understands the material to a master level. Yeah, for sure. Yep. That's where Carl Sagan, to me, in the physics world and astronomy, not astrology, astronomy world, was one of the best understanders. And Feynman as well. Feynman is just insanely good too. Richard Feynman. Yeah, Carl Sagan's a great example. Well, I'm sure you're a fantastic teacher, Bo.
I hope.
I'd like to sit in on one of your lectures sometime. Do you have any hidden recordings of your lectures, Bo? Up on YouTube, we could watch. Mr. Spock says, astrology. Now that's something AI would be good at. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Not to offend anybody if they believe in astrology. It's just funny that I came up with astrology when I was meaning astronomy with Carl Sagan. Oh. 200,000. Bo says, but hey, now you can hear me ramble about tech completely imprecisely at the same time. Oh, Bo says I don't. I don't have any lectures. I did some recordings during lockdown and put it on their teaching platform. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so Bo, you guys probably know, but I should say it in case you don't. Tech Guy Bo, he has a YouTube channel. And he does review of hardware and even plays the games, testing things, and just very thorough jobs. Spends a lot of time on that. So I highly recommend checking it out. I don't think he does it here on Twitch. Maybe someday he said he might stream here, but he's been over on YouTube. Yeah, same name. Tech Guy Bo, spelled B-E-A-U. You promise you teach better in person than on camera? Yeah, I'm the same way, Bo. Because you have people, you're getting interaction from the people. You can see are they getting deer in headlights? Are they fading out because you're too boring? Mr. Spock says, I took a music production class and assignments required us to teach concepts to other students, which I think was cool. When you say other students in the same class, Bo says DeForte was an early influence of the more laid-back approach to YouTube, actually. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, Bo. Yeah. Thanks for giving Bo the shout-out. Teaching during lockdown sucked because I couldn't see when I was rambling, as there was no confused faces for me to look at. No, I totally understand. Yeah, you need that body language feedback. Plus, people are probably distracted, you know? They're probably not really focusing on you. And they're multitasking. They're not going to learn much doing that. Miss Fox says, yeah, in the same class we were given concepts we had to learn. And then we had to teach them to the students, and we were corrected by the teacher. That's a really good way to do it. It would show if you really understood it. We got some reds. And we got major lag. Wow, let's exit and go back in. There we go. Yeah, I think the challenge, because I experienced a couple things like that, Mr. Spock, too. One of the challenges was there were some people that were very, very introverted. And it was more, instead of it being more about the, do they know the subject? It was more about them fighting their shyness. So even if they truly did know the subject, they might have just had social problems, you know? I'm not saying it's still not a good thing to do, but that's probably really painful for some people. I like that approach, but some people probably hate it. To understand the Quipu, you must become the Quipu. Bo says, that's right. Must become one with Quipu. Okay, let's scam them. How about we give them a scam?
Stand back and watch me fight. You might learn something.
Let's make a couple attempts at a high power haste. They'll probably fail, but we'll see if we get one. Mrs. Spock says, yeah, the fear of public speaking could be problematic, but at the very least, you did them via recorded YouTube videos. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a lot better. Sever says, getting good queepoos and roll that poos here, not just one or the other. He loves his Arcus quotes. Thanks for giving Sever the shout out. Well, that was nonsense. Okay, we're gonna have to undo that haste. You need to cure paralysis here. And you need to cure him. Wee poo, those berserkers. It won't do any good on the berserkers, I'm afraid. Their magic resistance is too high. But our fists of steel will take them down. Mo says, I used to fear public speaking, then I realized that no one knows how much of a buffoon I really am other than myself. Yeah, that's very true. And that's not true that you're a buffoon. True that people aren't really paying attention to that kind of stuff. Also, most people watching are just sort of half paying attention 90% of the time anyway. It's true.
We did it!
Good training. Must have misclicked.
Saketi, run! Saketi, run!
Mr. Spock says, darn it, good thing you have a martial arts party. Yeah. Yeah, the Quipu on those berserkers are... Unless you get really high level, then you can do a little bit of damage against them, but... Us being level 13 and 14 versus 17, and their magic resistance. We can't do anything to them with magic. Yes, more berserkers. Love it. I wish the gunners would quit coming with them, but I guess they're always paired up.
Oh, bloody hell.
Really?
We're in for trouble.
We're gonna have to end combat and get him to come back. Just realized I'm 2 hours and 5 minutes in. I probably should go ahead and call it. We'll save this fight for the next stream. As long as I remember when I walk out here, they're going to be standing there. I'll keep myself at this door so I know that. Will they all reach over 100 martial arts by the end. The monks will because they get the bonus. The ninjas, no, they can only reach 100. Yes, I think everyone will hit 100, a true 100. So all the monks will have 125 on theirs, and then the ninjas will be at 100. Severed says, I won my Gamba in Arcus's channel today and now have 489,000 channel points. I think he's third in the number of points I've accumulated, behind you at 633,000 and Duke Donuts at 713,000. Wow. Man, Severed, you're super supporter. Holy moly. Yeah, no bonus. Yep. Yeah, Severb is super generous and helpful for everybody. Please go follow him, subscribe to him, check his stream out. All right, everyone. So thanks for watching. Oh, wait. Let's do a raid. Tawheed's streaming, I think. Let me see if he's on here. I'm going to send you his way. Because he told me earlier he was going to start streaming. He's not streaming. Okay, well, he missed out. We'll send you over to Jeff. Jeff Retainment. What's he playing? Non-canon. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.